What is up, guys? Patrick from NintenTalk back with another video, and this is going to be a discussion video discussing the future of Nintendo Labo. Now, Nintendo Labo, of course, being Nintendo's newest creation, where they combined building, cardboard, and video games. Pretty weird combination, but it seems to be working so far. So let's kind of go over my initial thoughts, and then we'll get into some later things and how I think this could grow or maybe not grow. So we'll get to that. But first of all, big disclaimer for anyone watching this: I did not purchase Nintendo Labo, and I'll get to that in a second. But I just want to say that I don't dislike the product, if that makes sense. I think that Nintendo Labo as a whole is actually a pretty good idea. And when I first saw this, I thought that instead of, if you go back a little bit, plastic peripherals, especially if you go back to the Wii, were this big thing. They would sell plastic guns that you could put your Wiimote in and play kind of like on the rails games. Of course, Rock Band and Guitar Hero have been around for a while. So when this was first announced, I thought that we were kind of going into a new age of substituting that plastic, which is probably not that great for the environment, and substituting it for cardboard, which is what I thought Labo was going to be. But no, this is a all-in-one, and Nintendo themselves are even marketing it as a three-part experience. Notice that word, experience, and not necessarily a game. And there are many that would debate that maybe a game or some kind of software could do the same thing Labo's trying to accomplish, but that's a different video altogether. So let's go over the three-part experience that Nintendo is trying to market Nintendo Labo as. So they have it into three different subsections, I guess you would say: make, play, and discover. Make, obviously, being the creation of these cardboard Toy-Cons, they're calling them. Very cute, Nintendo. But essentially, there are two kits that are out now that you can buy in the stores. And this is going to be one of the most controversial parts of this whole thing. The prices of these are $69.99 and $79.99, respectively. So the first Toy-Con kit, they're calling it, has pretty much 5 different Toy-Cons that you can build. And for those of you who haven't picked up on it yet, Toy-Cons are these different cardboard creations. So you have one is a piano, one is a fishing rod, one is just like an RC car that you can kind of control around by the vibration of the Joy-Con itself. So the first kit, like I was saying, is $69.99, and it is a collection of like 4 or 5. Guys, if I make any mistakes on these facts and little things about Labo, comment down below, because I have not bought them yet. I'll get to that too. But the first Toy-Con kit comes with like 4 or 5 different Toy-Cons, and it's kind of cool. It's like a bunch of mini games, and the build times on these things, which is where we're at right now with Make, the build times on this thing can range from an hour all the way up to like 2.5, 3.5 hours, depending, of course, on who's building it. If kids are building it, and if you're building it with a kid explaining, why we did this certain step. So there is a learning aspect to that too. I think it's really cool how you can interact with the Switch and build those things with kind of a one-on-one experience where you can move the camera around and really see which part to fold, which part to build. I think that was super smart on their part. And each of those Toy-Cons have their own software, because the Toy-Con kits each come with a physical Switch cartridge that is the Nintendo Labo software, and that's kind of how you interact with everything, which is the next thing, which is play. So once you create these Toy-Cons, you then put the cartridge in, like I was saying before, and you can kind of interact with that cardboard toy, essentially. I know, this is totally wacky. But for example, like the piano, it's not just a cardboard piano. It actually comes to life using the IR sensors of the Joy-Con. So, you can play all these things. I'm not going to go into detail what everything is, but the Toy-Con kit essentially comes with 4 or 5 different toys that you can build, whereas the $79.99 one which is a robot suit that you build out of cardboard and elastics and what have you. So that's a outfit that you put on, and that also comes with a cartridge that has this robot mini game, which I'm pretty sure was a game that was originally going to be for the Wii U. Long story there, but I've seen a lot of gameplay for that because that was the one I was most interested in. And essentially, you just kind of go around a town and you can interact and destroy buildings and stuff. There's also a challenge mode where, you know, you defeat targets and stuff like that. So there is kind of some substance to that. So that one is $10 more. The price has been a big thing in this whole conversation. $70 and $80 for essentially all you're getting in the box is sheets of cardboard that you cut out, fold. So it's literally just sheets of cardboard and that physical Switch cartridge, which has the Joy-Con, the Nintendo Labo software on there, which is how you interact with all these things. So the price point has been something that people have debated on. We go to the third thing, which is Discover. So this Labo isn't just build the thing, interact with it with the software. This is also they're calling it Toy-Con Garage, which you can program in different inputs and outputs to these creations, kind of making them your own. So pretty much your creativity is, you know, sky's the limit with this thing, which is a really cool selling point. Now, for this video in particular, we're going to be talking about, you know, what's the future of Nintendo Labo? Because I got to be honest, when I first saw Nintendo Labo as a whole, when I saw that trailer it was kind of weird and no one really knew what was happening. And then I started to get the message of it and I was like, I felt a couple of things actually. The first thing I felt was, this is kind of a bad sign, because if Nintendo is putting all this work into enhancing the Joy-Con, couldn't they have just done that in software form? You know, we got 1-2 Switch, and that was kind of more of like a party game. But for me personally, I feel like Nintendo themselves could have come up with some kind of software to teach kids how to program and code and discover and play, because I think that's the whole mission of Nintendo Labo. Of course, I do like the creativity part where kids can actually build these things and, you know, put stickers on them and color them, and it's really cute for the kids. And, you know, as someone, you know, that's older, can't really appreciate all the aspects that Labo has to offer. So you kind of have to gauge your mindset as a kid, because I know if I was still that young, making something and then essentially it coming to life, that would have blown my freaking mind. So I got to kind of think of it in that way too. But in terms of the future of Labo, and I've said this ever since I've seen this, man, it's like there's a certain magical feeling about Labo. You know, that same feeling that you get or that I got when the Nintendo Wii first came out, and it's kind of that special like aha moment where you're kind of seeing this or seeing someone else do it, and you just get instantly interested in this product. And that's kind of how it's been for me, seeing Nintendo Labo in action, people demonstrating it, people showing off the software, and how much fun people are having with this. Now, in terms of growing and scaling this, I just don't see it. You know, I have to be honest with myself and to you guys. I just don't see Nintendo Labo becoming that next big thing. It certainly has that wow factor, like I was saying before. It's definitely something that kids could get behind. I could see this growing really, really big in schools or maybe nursing homes. Like, this is definitely an interactive thing, but I really feel like this is kind of like a weekend activity almost. You know, from what I've been hearing, comment down below if I'm wrong, but from what I'm hearing, the software just isn't substantial enough to keep your interest for very long. That's why I say this is kind of more of a weekend thing, because how long is your attention going to be set on this? I also think that the buy-in price is a little high. I get it though. It's cardboard. It's, you know, Nintendo has created software to put this all together. They've also created mini games to interact with it. The price for me isn't what's holding me back. It's kind of the longevity of this product. I feel like in a weekend or two, I will get my Labo fix and I'll be done. for me, this is a product that I view other content creators or your celebrities or whatever playing with, and people that are actually good at making music and making things. That's how I'm going to enjoy Labo for the most part. Like, you can already go on Twitter and YouTube and see people literally making like the Mario theme song or Michael Jackson, like with the piano. And like, those people just make Labo seem so fun. But I feel like if I did get it, I wouldn't have as much fun with it as those people are. So I don't know how big Labo can grow. I'm not a parent myself, but if I was, I don't know if I would put in that much money for that kind of product. I feel like there are other things out there, and especially if I don't have a Switch, that's another $300 added into that introductory price. So for me personally, and I could be wrong, you could be viewing this video years and years from now, and this could become a meme. But I just don't see Nintendo Labo growing to the scale that people think it's going to grow. I just got to put everything together. I think, you know, it would be foolish to say, oh, Nintendo Labo will be done in a month or two, because Nintendo's going to try. They're going to try to market this thing. They're going to release new variety kits. We've already seen things in different toy cons that aren't even out yet, but we've seen in the official trailer and commercials. So I'd be a fool to say that it's going to end this year or suddenly. But I just don't think that it's going to scale to like a nationwide type thing. I think it's going to be a really cool thing for kids. And, you know, the people that choose to buy it are going to have a really good time with it. But I don't see it being in everyone's household. It's just unfortunate that this is coming out in a time where the Switch, you know, the lineup is kind of scarce in terms of Nintendo games. I know that there's a lot of support from third parties and indies. It's kind of frustrating to see it come out with the Wii U ports coming out, because, you know, as someone who played those games before, and then Labo coming out, there's not really a lot for me to look forward to. But that's besides the point. I think Nintendo Labo is a fantastic idea. I think it's really fun and intuitive, and the kids that are playing it seem to like it. I just don't think that parents are fully gonna jump on board, and that's the people that unfortunately need to jump on board with this. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. What do you think about Nintendo Labo? Do you think it is going to grow to this big Nintendo powerhouse? That would be pretty cool. Let me know in the comments section below, guys. And if you like this video, think about subscribing, and I will see you guys much later. Have a good one.